So I know you guys remember when this happened. Well, it looks like this is about to become the latest trend in the world of comedy because Dave Chappelle just had his own share of the insanity that is going around. Is this about to become a thing? And why on earth is Chris trying to pin this whole thing on Will? So as we all know, Will Smith got mad at Chris Rock at the 2022 Oscars when Chris Rock made fun of Jada's baldness. Will walked on that stage and smacked the living daylights out of Chris Rock and then told him to keep Jada's name out his effing mouth. Yeah, it was a hot mess and the internet was in shambles for weeks after the event, and hot takes were flying all over the internet. Some people were on Will's side and said that Chris Rock was out of line with his joke and that Will was justified in trying to protect Jada's honor. Other fans thought Will was the one that was out of line and that Chris was only making a joke. Will shouldn't have smacked him. How Will was laughing and only got mad because Jada was upset and blah blah blah. But like I said, the internet was just one big pile of chaos and it was a hot mess. I'm not gonna lie though, it was kind of interesting to read what people had to say, especially celebrities like Zoe Kravitz, who threw shade at Will saying, "Here's a picture of my dress at the show where we're apparently hitting people on stage now." Fans told Zoe that she should have sat that one out, and they soon began to drag her for her disturbing comments about Jaden Smith when he was still a minor. Like I said, it was pure insanity in these streets. Anyways, Will apologized on Instagram and the Oscars banned him from attending for the next 10 years, which means that the next time we're gonna see him at the Oscars is in 2032, and that's just so far away. But as for Chris Rock, he decided to take the high road and not press charges against Will Smith and claim that he had forgiven him. Well, events in the past days have proven that even if Chris forgave Will, he has certainly not forgotten about the event. You know, all that stuff they say about forgiving and forgetting? Well, looks like Chris is not so big on the forgetting aspect of this because he really threw some major shade at Will. So on May 4th, Dave Chappelle was performing at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles, California, when a man in the audience suddenly ran on stage and tackled the comedian, and I'm talking on a full-on clumsy headbutt. The clumsy attacker, who has now been identified as Isaiah Lee, also pointed a weapon at Dave, and it's unclear whether he meant to actually hurt Dave with the weapon or if he was just trying to scare him really badly. At first glance, the weapon looked like a gun, but on closer inspection, it turned out to be a knife that was designed to look like a gun. I have so many questions about the design of this knife, and the first one is why? I mean, why would you want to make a scary weapon look even scarier? Like, what is wrong with people? Luckily for Dave, he didn't get hurt because the security team was on stage ASAP and they dealt with that person easily. Now, when the whole Chris Rock versus Will Smith thing happened, many fans online were of the opinion that Will wouldn't have gotten away with it that easily if he had slapped Dave Chappelle. And judging by the looks of Dave's attacker, I think we can all agree that the fans were right, because this attacker certainly does not look okay. I mean, look at his arms. How is it facing that way? That's just insane. He looks like a doll. And I'm not the only one to think so. Many fans have been wondering what exactly was he hit with, because he looks like he's in the worst shape he could ever be in. A fan tweeted, "Who is on his security team? Batman?" Another fan said, "His arm now identifies as a pretzel." Every day, the internet has me fighting for my spot in heaven. I mean, dang. But after the situation had got handled, Chris Rock went on stage and made a joke about the situation.
Was that Will Smith?
Now, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty funny. It was a good jokey joke. And if I'm being honest, I do kind of get why Chris made the joke. Will did kind of unintentionally start some of this. Now, don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying that Will Smith is at fault here, because it's not like Will made Isaiah go on stage and attack Dave. What I am saying is that Will going on stage and smacking Chris Rock at a major event like the Oscars could have made people realize that they could just run on stage and hit a comedian that they don't like. It could have gave them the confidence to do exactly that. And like I said, this isn't Will Smith's fault, well, at least not directly. And we can't deny that Chris Rock's joke kind of helped ease the tension in the arena that was caused by the attack, so it ended well. Not for Isaiah Lee though, but everybody else turned out fine. But speaking of Isaiah, Dave revealed that he had spoken to him after the attack to find out why he had attacked him. And according to Dave, Isaiah had attacked him because Isaiah's grandmother had been forced out of her Brooklyn home due to gentrification. So Isaiah attacked Dave on stage as a way to bring attention to the growing issue of gentrification that's forcing locals out of their homes that they've owned for years. Dave also revealed that Isaiah suffered from an undisclosed mental illness. Now, I understand that Isaiah felt very strongly about the growing gentrification and was doing what he thought was best, but there is no justification for attacking someone. His brother also confirmed that he has a history of mental illness, so I think that this kinda, maybe sorta gives him a pass. Not a complete pass though, but I think it does kind of explain why he took a not very smart decision. And his risk turned out to be for nothing, cause absolutely nobody is talking about gentrification or trying to come up with a solution for it. So he got a whole mangled arm for nothing. Luckily for Isaiah, he is not facing any felony charges, but that doesn't mean that he is in the clear, because he still faces 4 misdemeanor charges, which are battery, possessing a weapon, unauthorized access to the stage area during a performance, and a commission of an act that delays the event or interferes with the performance. He was hit with all these charges at the misdemeanor court, and he pleaded not guilty on all 4 accounts. His bail was set at $30,000, and he was also ordered to stay away from Dave Chappelle at all times. This means that he isn't allowed to go near Dave, his home, or anywhere Dave is performing. It's unclear whether this is a lifelong ban or if it's temporary, but Dave has spoken about it, and he is refusing to let the attack overshadow his achievement at the event. In a statement issued by his representative, he said, "Dave Chappelle celebrated 4 nights of comedy and music, setting record-breaking sales for a comedian at the Hollywood Bowl. This run ties Chappelle and Monty Python for the most headline shows by any comedian at the Hollywood Bowl, reaching 70,000 fans of diverse backgrounds during the first Netflix Is a Joke The Festival, and he refuses to allow last night's incident to overshadow the magic of this historic moment. As unfortunate and unsettling as the incident was, Chappelle went on with the show." So it looks like Dave is choosing to focus on the positives and move on from the attack. But then we're talking about Dave Chappelle here, and if you know anything about him, then you already know that there is no way that he isn't going to poke fun and make a joke out of the situation. And that's exactly what he did. And to make it even better, he told the joke with nobody other than Chris Rock. Now, apart from being black male comedians, one thing that they now have in common is that they were both attacked on the stage while giving a performance. Now, that's not something that many comedians can brag about. And of course, they had to bring up the Will Smith situation. I mean, duh, what were y'all expecting? 2 days after the attack, Dave and Chris performed in front of a smaller audience in the belly room at the Comedy Store. This was a private event, so there were no recordings, but according to The Hollywood Reporter, Dave told Chris, "At least you got smacked by someone with repute. I got smacked by a homeless guy with leaves in his head." Chris then replied and said, "I got smacked by the softest N-word that ever rapped." I mean, that's shade. But hey, he did get smacked really hard in front of the world, so I guess he has the right to joke about this. Reacting to this joke, this fan said, "That's an L within itself if he's the softest guy to ever rap and he slapped you and you did nothing." And this other fan thinks the same, saying, "Why he ain't have that energy at the Oscars? He got slapped and all that he could do was stand there like a bee." This fan has clearly had enough of all the drama and tweeted, "Great, now if I hear anything else about the situation, I may commit a crime on humanity." Well, just like some of y'all's mamas say, guess we gotta let the sleeping dog lie. But like I said, just because Chris appears to have forgiven Will Smith does not mean that he has forgotten about the incident. And I just know that Will is going to be furious over the shade that Chris threw. At least there's no video footage of him saying it, so that's a small blessing. Anyways, if you guys want to see some more chaotic Celeb drama, then you better check out this video because it is messy.